I don't know what you expected, but what you expect when you walk in a therapy session.
You walk into therapy session. Welcome back to Music Teacher Reacts, where you will find the loudest instrument in the universe. And of course, my apparent reactions, analyses, opinions, and anything to do with music in general. I'm super excited to be getting through this album, and it looks like I'm at the token song which is named after the album, which is always number 2. By the looks of it, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't seen the song list for the other albums, so maybe they're all at number 2. And that makes sense. I mean, his intros are about what's going to be going on and what has happened. That being said, I haven't listened to Intro 2 since I listened to it and watched it ages ago, so I will be watching it again to see if I can pick up on some of those clues which are going on in the video clip in the song. If this is your first time here, welcome. You're watching this all out of order. If you haven't come across any of my other Reactionalyses before, check them out. Even if they're not NF, it would be excellent to be able to branch out. And these are things that I'm doing that I love, that I'm discovering new artists, and I'm discovering all kinds of new music, which I hadn't really listened to before. Thanks to you, and thank you for watching in general. Anyway, enough sucking up. We're up to therapy session. Pressing play now. The following images and social content may be disturbing for some of you with a viewer discretion. It's loud.
Yeah, I got upstate like a month ago. I was talking to fans and one of them pulled me aside and said we never met, but I swear that you know who I am. I've been through a lot. I don't know how to express it to people. Don't think that I can, but I got that mental CD on rotation that's real for me, Nate. You do not understand.
Have to stop it there. When we look at the rhythms and the flow of this, it's got this triplet feel, like the intros, da 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 da, albeit much slower. But what's really come out to me on this is it does have a very ominous feel. It's got this kind of piano riff starting on the introduction. But the bass drum itself, where you can really feel that beat, is so, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to have to hear it again. And I'm always taking it back, so unpredictable. As in, it's not coming on beat 1 every time. And it really makes this piece of music a lot more distressing, because we don't have a solid, strong beat 1. And when we have a solid, strong beat 1, it makes us feel more at home. It makes us feel like we have a lot more control over what we're hearing. But here, it doesn't. So I can already see graphically what's going on here. And the lyrical content is something that I'm hoping to be able to grasp at the same time as the music.
You know who I am, I've been through a lot. I don't know how to express it to people. Don't think that I can, but I got that mental CD on rotation that's real for me, Nate. You do not understand. It's crazy for me. Kids hit me up, say they slitting their wrists on the daily. This music is more than you think. Don't book me for just entertainment. It's entertaining. Hearing these parents, they telling their kids my music is violent. You gotta be kidding me. I guess that your definition of violence in mine is something that we look at differently. How do you picture me? Want me to smile? You want me to laugh, you want me to walk in the stage with a smile on my face when I'm mad and put on a mask. For real though, I mean, what you expect from me? I'm trying to do this respectfully. They say that life is a race. I knew my problems would probably catch up eventually. I do my best to be calm. How you gonna write me and tell me you slaughter my family? That's just a glimpse of the stuff that gets said to me. These are the parts of my life that I'll never see. Woo! I am aware it's aggressive. I am not here for acceptance. I don't know what you expected, but what you expect when you walk in a therapy session.
You walk into therapy session. This has got a really typical harmony. And when I say harmony, I use this word synonymously with chord progression. So any like a musician or any person who knows about chords progressions, it means you have one chord, a set of notes played at the same time, moving to another chord. And that's all given in a given key. that is certain notes which are, or certain pitches which are used more frequently than others. So this is in a minor tonality, and minor keys or minor tonality usually suggest sadness. And the harmony is being provided by this more like a synthesized choral or choir. But it's really appropriate because it gives us that feeling of sorrow. It gives us that feeling of angst as well. But again, I haven't gone in looking at the lyrics for this, and I'm just taking it on straight up. He's using they a lot, as in what they said. I did kind of get this glimpse that he's thinking about, and I think he referenced it as well, that people are accusing him, critics are accusing him of certain things about his music which may not be true. But like mentioned, I'm hoping the message that I get from this is going a little bit more into his anxiety and a little bit more about what he needs to share and his insecurities. But I got a lot of this from Mansion, a lot of, I mean, if you think of Motivated, the song, and if you looked at my Mansion album review, a lot of insecurities about what people think about him. And there's a focus on being put down. And that's worrying because that weighs on your mind, of course, if people are always on your back about stuff. But it also shows a lack of understanding of how to deal with that. Not that we make excuses for people being numpties. There needs to be a level of strategy, and I'm hoping that we can approach this here.
I'll never say I am aware it's aggressive. I am not here for acceptance. I don't know what you expected, but what you expect when you walk in a therapy session.
I've never heard a piece of music from him where there's actually this choral choir backing vocalists, and it's really, really cool here. It really is. And again, another way that his music is kind of evolving, and many of you have said, you know, like I had a lot of praise for the Mansion album, obviously. I mean, I've grown to love this artist, I really have. And a lot of you have said, just wait until his next album. So I don't really know what to expect. Yes, I've heard The Search. It was the first one that I heard. But I can already see a growth here that it brings an extra layer to this and to his music.
This girl at the show looked me in the face and told me her life's full of drama. Said her dad is abusive, apparently he likes to beat on her mama. I got so angry inside, I wanted to tell her to give me his number. But what you gonna do with it, right? You gonna hit him up, then they'll start hitting her harder, that's real. These kids, they come to my shows with tears in their eyes. Imagine someone looking at you and saying your music's the reason that they're alive. Sometimes I don't know how to handle it. This type of life isn't glamorous. This ain't an act for the cameras. You see me walk on these stages, but have no idea what I'm dealing with after. And I put it on.
Wow, this is interesting. Interesting for me. I mean, you know, I go straight into the music, and I actually tuned straight out and listened a lot more to the lyrics. And this is why it's super hard for me to listen to the lyrics and the music at the same time, because it's one or the other. And I really focus on the lyrics there because there was a lot of lyrical content which was extremely graphic. And a lot of people watching this as well will have, you know, gone through aspects of domestic violence. But it is really interesting that the way that I see this, and I'm still not following whether it's his therapy session or not, but I feel like it is, especially his album cover suggesting that this is true. I get a lot of comments on my videos, and thank you. And many people have actually said, and I've gone through it, NF is literally the reason why they are still around. And that's hard. Like, he's doing some amazing stuff. He really is. But that's hard to listen to think, because of me, you are still here. Yes, the impact has been positive, but it's a lot of burden to take on. And if you're watching this, I don't know you, and if you are one of those people who feel that they have literally been saved by this amazing, hardworking artist, please do not ever discount the impact you have had in that. And NF may have been the catalyst, but it was really all you. It really is. You got through that. Don't ever downplay that. Don't ever downplay your strength.
sometimes I don't know how to handle it. This type of life isn't glamorous. This ain't an act for the cameras. You see me walk on these stages, but have no idea what I'm dealing with after it. I put it all in the open. This is the way that I cope with all my emotion. I'm taking pictures with thousands of people, but honestly, I feel like nobody knows me. I'm trying to deal with the pressure. I'm trying to deal with the pressure. How you gonna tell me my music does not have a message when I'm looking out at this crowd full of people I know are affected?
Who's telling him that his music doesn't have a message? That's what I'm trying to understand. That is there a focus on the critics? I get what he's saying, that he's dealing with a lot of stuff. He's dealing with depression. Who's affecting him? I don't know. I mean, it's literally it's a question that I'm asking because I don't know who is he talking to?
Knows me. I'm trying to deal with the pressure. I'm trying to deal with the pressure. How you gonna tell me my music does not have a message when I'm looking out at this crowd full of people I know are affected? I got some things in my life I know I should let them go. Let me jot it down. Let me take a mental note. I put it all on this microphone. Think about that for a minute. What is the point of this song I'm just venting? But what you expect from a therapy session?
Little things like the backing, the rhythmic track, so the electronic hi-hat and the bass drum. Listening to it just there, and I'm not going to take it fully back, and if you want to take a listen to how that changes, if you just shift your focus away from the lyrics, which is difficult to do, and focus on one aspect of the music, which little things which really make this that little bit more emotional, taking away the bass drum, taking away the hi-hat and bringing it back in. And while we get a great amount of emotion from the lyrics and his accenting on certain words, pressure, depression, having that use of alliteration as well, and of course, as I just said, accenting musically the rhythms, all that stuff with the lyrics contributes to that emotion that's being conveyed here. Can't have one without the other. Lyrics are great. You can read it on sheet and really feel like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what's going on. But without the music, it does not have the same meaning. Without those accents, without every little bit which is going on, and it's composed so.
What you think about me? That doesn't worry me. I know I handle some things immaturely. I know that I need to grow in maturity. I ain't gonna walk on these stages in front of these people and act like I live my life perfectly. That doesn't work for me. Christian is not the definition of what perfect means. Woo! I ain't the type to be quiet. I ain't gonna sit here in silence if I wouldn't say what I say to your face. And I promise you I wouldn't say it in private. I am not lying. People go off on my page and I'm trying to quit the replying, but this is ridiculous. I'm passionate, man. I really mean what I'm writing. Yeah, I need to keep it 100. Okay, I'll keep it 100. I see a whole lot of talking on socials, but honestly, I don't see nothing in public. I kinda love it, yeah. Why don't you write us some happy raps? That would be awesome. All of your music is moody and dark, nay. Don't get me started.
I'm hoping some of the comments can really clarify some things for me here. I can see this is about him and his response to fame. I love that verse there because, again, as I said, that you had this amazing, this constant beat, which is using an electric bass drum, snare drum, and a hi-hat in these triplet patterns, like his vocals. And I can see we've probably got about a fifth left. But this particular verse, maybe he did in the other ones I didn't even realize. All of that rhythm is stripped, except that bass drum, which we were discussing at the beginning, which is a lot more stagnant. It doesn't come in expectedly. And that's what, again, makes this more ominous. So what we're hearing here is a lack of a rhythmic layer apart from his vocals, a lack of definite beat, which makes this a lot more uneasy for us. And I'm going to take it back, and possibly if you're listening to it and you're still watching this video, listen out for it too. And I'm hoping I will see that bass drum, snare drum, and hi-hat come back anyway in a moment. But it's great how things are changing so subtly, yet it's difficult to notice when you're just focusing on the lyrics.
I see a whole lot of talking on socials, but honestly, I don't see nothing in public. I kinda love it, yeah. Why don't you write us some happy raps? That would be awesome. All of your music is moody and dark, nay. Don't get me started. You wanna know what it's like if you met me in person? Listen to my verses. This music is not just for people who sit in the pews and pray at the churches. Nah, I've been rejected. I don't expect everyone to respect it. I don't expect you to get my perspective, but what you expect from a therapy session?
I mean, I think sometimes people, they confuse what I'm doing. I write about life, I write about things that I'm actually dealing with. Something that I'm actually experiencing. This is real for me. Like, this is something that personally helps me as well. I'm not confused about who gave me the gift. God gave me the gift and he gave me the ability to do this, and he also gave me this as an outlet. And that's what music is for me. When I feel something, whether it's anger, it's a passion about something, a frustration, like, this is where I go. That's the whole NF real music thing, man. This is real for me. I need this. This is a therapy for me.
I'm really grateful for that outro there. We're listening to him explain the function of his music, and I believe that is the first time I hear in his songs NF real music. This is powerful. It's not highly graphic, but I wholeheartedly understand why the disclaimer had to be put at the front, because people are dealing with this. There are images of domestic violence, and I think back to the Eminem Reactionalysis I did on Darkness. Now, that was very real. That was a very real incident, and it was quite violent. But it's quite interesting that comparing the way that media is consumed nowadays versus in the 90s, if this were from the 90s, I mean, firstly, stylistically, it would be quite different, but they would not have that disclaimer at the front at all. How Come, How Long by Stevie Wonder and Babyface, that was about domestic violence, and there was possibly the same level of graphic content in the video clip, and possibly similar in the lyrics, but there was never any disclaimer at the front. And it's quite interesting to see what is usually perceived as more highly sensitive, but it's not, because back then people didn't know as much about domestic violence. It wasn't spoken about. It was swept under the carpet, and it still is to an extent, and it's hard. So the way that media is consumed nowadays needs that, because it's so easy to access. Whereas where I would see that video clip to that song once a week on the top 50 countdown here in Australia, you can watch this as many times as you want. Musically, this is quite simple. It is really a lot about the lyrics, but there are some really lovely surprises in the small changes that are being made rhythmically here with the rhythmic layers, and also loving that chorus with the therapy session with the choir. But what got me was the end, where he really explained it, and it's becoming more and more apparent. He's attributing his abilities to a God-given gift, which I think we would refer to as talent, and no doubt he's talented. I feel like talent is a term that's thrown around so much. You hear it mentioned for musicians, actors, athletes, artists, but you don't hear this word talented referring to intellectual domains. I do have a gripe with the word talented, and if you want to go through all of my videos, I never mention once that NF is talented. And no doubt he's talented. He is, by the definition of the word, by all means. Talent undermines hard work. Talent is seen as a natural ability to do something. And how many times have you called somebody talented as a compliment? Or if you are a musician or an actor or an athlete or an artist, how many times have you been called talented as a compliment? Like, the person calling you talented is not doing anything wrong, but they are. Sorry to be abrupt, they are. Because when you call somebody talented, you basically say, wow, you are really good at this because it's natural to you. It is a gift to you. That's an insult. Do not tell a successful musician, artist, athlete, actor that they did well and performed well because they are natural at it. Screw the thousands of hours that they have put in of hard work to perfect their craft, of mistakes, of failures that they had to repeatedly look back on and change so that they could be successful. Do not tell them that they're good at what they do because it's a gift. Yeah, they have an aptitude towards it. They may be drawn towards it. But this is just my gripe with the word talent. NF is talented. Absolutely. By the meaning of the word. And I understand why he said that it's a gift. And of course, it's how you use that. If you want to say a gift, how you use that gift and the work that you put in. Because it is so easy, especially if you're a kid, you're suggestible. It is so easy to be called talented and say, you're natural at this, you're great at this, you are good at it because it's a gift. It's so easy to accept that and then not put in hard work. And then you won't get anywhere. But this guy has put in a ridiculous amount of hard work, doing what he loves. It's amazing that we can be here to him opening up to us, as this is a therapy session. And I know that there are a lot of deep, deep themes within this album. And I'm looking forward to so many songs. And I think that's it. That's it for me. Talent. Leave a comment below if you want to say something about it. You know I see all of them. I do. So thank you for watching. Until next time.